man without a doubt. Jeff's asked me to explain what it's like to be the England manager. To do that, I've got to tell you a little bit about my backstory, because I think to be the England manager is going to be slightly different to everybody, for everybody. And it depends on your own life experiences. I grew up in South East, I've lived in Lancashire, I've lived in Yorkshire, I've worked in the North East, I lived in the Midlands and worked in the Midlands for 6 years. So I think I have an understanding of what it means to everybody in our country. I can't explain what it means without referring to how patriotic my own family are. How watching the Queen's funeral last week, I'm just totally transfixed. The history, the pageantry, our military, the ceremony, the things that just make us different and that we do unbelievably. I can't explain what it means without talking about my own football memories. Running home from school to watch Brian Robson score after 27 seconds against France in 1982. Staying up late to watch a Lineker hat-trick against Poland in 1986. And seeing that ball drop over David Platt's shoulder to volley in against Belgium in 1990. I can't explain it without describing being picked in the England squad for the first time. My training kit's in my room at Burnham Beeches, and I'm standing in front of the mirror and I'm just pulling it on. I'm 25 years old, and I'm just looking at the 3 lions on the kit. The emotions walking up the old tunnel at Wembley, where you came out of into the light, and the Colosseum, as it felt like when you walked out of that tunnel, that eruption of noise across the sand onto that hallowed turf. And then standing as one of 11 representing 55 million, belting out the national anthem next to the likes of Sheringham, Seaman, Pearce, Adams, special men who taught me what it was to play for England. As a player, I was involved on historic nights: Holland 4-1 at Wembley, Argentina in St Etienne, Munich 5-1, on the bench for that one, actually. On the bench for quite a few after that, to be fair. And of course, Germany, Wembley, 96. I watched Ron Greenwood and admired Bobby Robson and how he carried himself and respected the game, both aided brilliantly by Don Howe, who was a fantastic coach that we worked with in 96. I saw how Graham Taylor, a good football man, was torn apart, and I lived through everything with Terry, Glenn, Kevin, and Sven. You come to know how this job can be, and all of those thoughts and all of that history is with me every time I arrive at a stadium ahead of a match to represent our country. When I took the job, I know people would have feared the worst. Really? What's he done? Got Middlesbrough relegated, done a bit with the under-21s. Some shrugged their shoulders. Well, he knows the young players. We've tried everything else. We might as well give this bloody thing a go. So, if you want a frank opinion on things, I always find Neil Warnock never disappoints. I saw him at a dinner after Russia in 2018, and he said, "Son, you did great. I'll be honest, I thought it were going to be a disaster." I don't think he was alone, by the way. I was determined that Russia wouldn't be a one-off, a fluke, an easy draw. And the Euros at home brought more expectation. We're an unbelievable, incredible football nation. We can fill Wembley for Andorra, and yet one final in 55 years. The loyalty and support is incredible. I was told people no longer cared about international football, and yet our biggest nights we get 25 million plus watching. That's even more than Coronation Street, by the way. To walk around Wembley, and I saw the pictures there at the end of the semi-final with Denmark, will live with me forever. The joy, the elation, the relief, the connection. A nation seamed together 55 years. We had letters from the Queen, we had messages and videos from dignitaries, from music stars, from other sportsmen. An incredible few days for all of us. The streets from the hotel when we left to go to Wembley were lined right the way along. To see Wembley empty out and live the period after the final will also live with me forever. The sadness, the anger, the recrimination, the emptiness. I've weaved a bit of Kipling in here. That's Rudyard, not the Bakewell tart guy. If you can meet with triumph and disaster and treat those two imposters just the same, it doesn't need me to say the job's hard. I think everybody in the country can see that, because we're trying to accomplish extraordinary things. And to accomplish extraordinary things is incredibly difficult. This is a job where every decision, every selection is questioned, debated, ridiculed. That's just my postman, by the way. Column inches are full, airwaves are filled. And as a manager, you're not going to get every decision right. But I have to be strong enough to withstand popular appeal for something and do what I really believe gives us the best chance to win. If you can keep your head when all about you are losing theirs and blaming it on you, if you can trust yourself when all men doubt you, but make allowance for their doubting too. Because that doubting, that noise that surrounds us is because people care. They're passionate. They just want to win. And I understand that. And if we don't win for 6 matches, then quite rightly I have to accept that criticism. That's what goes with our job. And if nobody cared or commented, then it wouldn't be the great and incredible challenge that it is. Milan was painful. I knew walking over to our fans that it wasn't going to end well, but I wasn't going to take a backward step. I've enjoyed the warmth and the adulation, and so you've got to ride with the discomfort as well. Against Germany last week, I think we showed what we're capable of, good and bad, and importantly, it showed there's character there. And as a team, I think we'll be better for that challenging period we've just been through. You wouldn't choose to do it. You wouldn't choose to go into a World Cup with the run of results we've had. But I actually think we're stronger for that, and the players have had to take some ownership. And those moments like coming back from 2-0 down and hearing the roof lift off Wembley are hard to describe. So in 7 weeks' time, I get to lead my country to another World Cup, my 4th, which is an amazing honour. We have players I'm proud to lead who give us everything, and I couldn't wish for better support from my family and from the incredible team of people who work with me, many of whom are here tonight. We want to bring people together, create memories and history. And I've said before the last 2 tournaments, if we can make people proud, we'll have had an amazing time. And I know that the bar of what might be deemed success is raised and getting higher for us. But as a team, we have to focus on performance, and the rest will fall into place. So, what's it like to be England manager? If the story seems a mix of emotions, successes and failures, that's because it has been. And I think most people's are. For every amazing night when you walk on air, there's the gut-wrenching feel the morning after a loss. Those moments when you have to pick yourself up off the canvas and go again. If you can force your heart and nerve and sinew to serve your turn long after they're gone, and so hold on when there is nothing in you except the will which says to them, hold on. I have to say, I was reluctant for a tribute night, but I'm grateful for the acknowledgement and for the opportunity to explain to you exactly what it means to manage my country. It truly is the greatest privilege. Thank you.